Thank you all for being here. My name is McIntyre, and I'm serving as Interim Dean of the College of Education. And I am joined by two of our amazing experts in the Ballmer Institute. Randy and Jen, please come on up. Feeling lonely up here. I want to start out by saying we are in this amazing, beautiful building. This is the Knight campus. And I would be remiss if I didn't point out that the Knight campus served as a model for our work in identifying the power of philanthropy coming together with the expertise of institutions of higher education and a commitment to accelerate the impact of our work. So we use the Knight campus as an example throughout our work, and we sort of used it as sort of a touch point, and it informed every step of our journey. I'm going to sort of turn it over to our experts here and facilitate some conversations. But before I do, let's do some introductions. Randy, Dr. Randy Kamphaus, would you like to introduce yourself?
Sure. I have the pleasure of serving as the acting executive director of the Ballmer Institute at the University of Oregon. So please visit our website, Children's Behavioral Health at uoregon.edu, to learn more about all of our faculty and all the activities going on at the Ballmer Institute. And it's a pleasure to join you today.
And Dr. Jen Pfeifer.
Thanks, Laura Lee. My name is Jen Pfeifer. I am a faculty member in psychology, and I also am co-director of the National Scientific Council on Adolescence. It's been really a privilege to work with a whole team across campus, mainly from psychology and education, in developing the concept and ideas behind the Ballmer Institute, and then working feverishly the last half year to see it as far as it's come.
No fevers. We did our health checks before we did it. Just to make sure. Got my mask handy if I need to throw that on really quickly. Thank you. I'm delighted that you're here, and we can really have a conversation about some of the activities that we're engaging in. Before we do that, and please sit down, make yourself comfortable. I feel like we need our coffee cups so we can have a little chat. I want to recognize our new dean of the College of Arts and Sciences, my brand new colleague as of maybe 2 weeks ago, almost 2 weeks ago, Chris Paulson. Chris. Week and a half, okay, yeah. Well, you're such an accelerated learner that I put you at 2 weeks for sure. Dean Paulson joined us from the University of Michigan, where he served as the Associate Dean for Natural Sciences in that division. And Dr. Paulson is also a professor in Earth Sciences, and does work in the environment. So we're delighted that you're here, and you had no idea what you were getting into when the College of Education and Psychology in your division sort of joined forces. So we're so pleased that you're here. I also want to point out Dr. Julie Wren, who's the Associate Director of the Ballmer Institute, who's been really critical. Is a terrific addition to the team. And Dr. Beth Stromschak, where are you, Beth? There's Dr. Beth Stromschak. Beth is the Knight Chair and professor in the College of Education. And Beth and Jen have been on the steering committee that have provided really sound guidance as we're developing and launching the Ballmer Institutes. So let's get down to business. Randy, you've been just a little busy, right? Since March, when the announcement was made that the Ballmer Institute was launching. Tell us a little bit about what you've been working on and what the Ballmer Institute will be doing.
Yeah, it's very exciting because I've never been in charge of a startup firm before. And it feels like a startup firm that started on March 1st. And we've been running fast since that moment. The exciting thing about Ballmer Institute is that it leverages all the strengths of a major research university like the U of O, our instructional strengths, our service and outreach capabilities, and our research capabilities. So that's what the Ballmer Institute is going to be about, is those three areas of work. And Dr. Wren as you recognized earlier, is leading the curriculum effort with Jen Pfeifer, Beth Stormcheck, and others to create the undergraduate curriculum that was mentioned in the video, the first of its kind in the country, as far as we can tell. So that's a signature achievement for the U of O. And then, once that's in place, and hopefully we have students enrolling in fall of 23, we'll be working later this year on the service delivery component of the Ballmer Institute that will be embedded in the Park Road schools, the David Douglas schools in Northeast Portland, and the Portland Public Schools. So that will be an opportunity for our faculty and local school personnel to innovate in the area of service delivery. And then we're hiring tenure track faculty and clinical faculty this year, and you'll see research momentum continue to grow, based upon the strong foundation that all of you have laid here in Eugene. We'll see further innovations, and I think Dr. Pfeifer will probably be able to speak to some of the innovations that the UO has created that's already going to be part of this new curriculum, which is incredibly exciting. So, what's really cool is that there have been many breakthroughs by major universities in service or instruction or research, but the U of O is going to do all three thanks to the support of the Ballmers.
Yeah, that's fantastic. When I think about research, service, teaching, a brand new undergraduate curriculum, these are things that are happening in lightning speed, right? So as an institution of higher education, we typically take many, many years to arrive at a decision, and then many, many more years to pursue those goals. But Jen, I wonder if you could talk a little bit about the curriculum, which is something that Randy touched on, and of course Julie Wren gets a ton of credit for leading those efforts. But basically a small army of faculty came together in ways that we've never seen before. Can you tell us a little bit about that process?
Yeah, absolutely. So it has been actually just so thrilling to work on developing the curriculum. Beth and I sort of helped to corral a handful of faculty from psychology and the College of Education, and we had multiple meetings per week. We had presentations by partnering organizations who wanted to kind of share their insights about what are the needs they see, what do communities need, specific communities that they serve. And we use that to inform our sense of what are the critical elements that we need to include in design of this curriculum. And so, we knew that these undergraduates could be, and they needed to be trained to deliver services and programs to K through 12, to kids and children and adolescents. We knew that we wanted that, but we also knew that we needed to focus on diversity and inclusion. And so, having a core element of this being making sure that these undergraduates are trained to work with all of the children, all the adolescents they come across in these schools and other public health settings that they're working in. So there's some really unique features about the curriculum that you'll see as it goes through the review process that I think are really exciting. And speaking of the hiring that's going, that's launching for the tenure track faculty, when I talk to my colleagues around the country, I give them the broad strokes outlines of this program that we designed. They're excited. They are sort of stunned by it. They think, wow, you really thought of everything. And so I can see all this excitement, sort of bubbling throughout the community of researchers in psychology and education and public health who care about the behavioral and mental health of children and adolescents. And there's also this kind of awe or respect, like, wow, you guys put your money where your mouth is, because the need is so urgent right now. And we said, okay, we're doing it. And it's gone really fast. But that I think is reflective of and appropriate for the need.
There is a sense of urgency to address these societal problems right now. As you're thinking about, and put your education brains on, think about higher education and K-12 education, we typically don't innovate our curriculum very frequently. And so this is truly an opportunity to think about, take the temperature of the nation, there's that temperature again, and think about what our K-12 students need right now, and then design rapidly a curriculum to address those needs that's modern, equity-based, and I agree, our colleagues are just stunned. So in creating this new undergraduate program in children's behavioral health, you're probably wondering, as am I, what would a child behavioral health specialist do? What is that new kind of profession that you're talking about?
Yes.
Randy, Jen, you'll have to arm wrestle for that one.
Fill in the gaps, go for it.
Thank you. Great. Well, it's such a joy to have a clean sheet of paper to use to design a curriculum. I've not seen anything like this, and this is part of the excitement that Dr. Pfeifer was referring to, and just keeps us going every day. It's so cool, this curriculum. Wait till you see it. It's different in so many ways in that, as Laura Lee was mentioning, we're able to capitalize on innovations in practice and evidence-based practices that have occurred within the last year, the last 10 years, the last 20 years. And you're often unable to do that because you have accreditation standards, licensure standards, and other standards that you're yoked to. And we have none of those at this point in time. We literally are creating a new profession from the ground up. Licensure, accreditation, all of those accoutrements will follow in the future. And hopefully they will be based upon the work that our faculty have done to lead the way. So that's just incredibly exciting. And I think Dr. Pfeifer is really best poised to fill in the gaps about behavioral health promotion and prevention and some of those aspects of the curriculum that I think would be most forward-looking, if you wouldn't mind.
Sure. Yeah, so I think some of the things that are so exciting about this, as you sort of alluded to, are one, what we realize is that these specialists need to fit in a whole system that's already underway in schools. You have your school psychologists, you have your school counselors and school social workers, and they needed to fit in, and we sort of looked at what could they bring that complements all this. And so the curriculum is designed, one of the key elements is to really focus on universal health promotion services, things that they deliver that are going to sort of lift up all children and adolescents. And by doing that for all of the youth, you're hoping that down the road, over the longer term, that fewer and fewer of them are going to reach a point at which they need really intensive, care and services for mental health problems and challenges that they're facing. So I think the universal promotion and prevention when they're identifying that there might be youth at risk. So they will be trained in understanding how to do mental and behavioral health screening. So you can catch these kiddos before things get too far down that pathway, get too far down the road. And so I think that this kind of focus, how they're focusing, who they're focusing on, is one key element. I also think that something that's really innovative is, just to give another example, it might be a really specific thing about the curriculum, but everyone's worried about digital technology and social media, right? Every parent in the country is worried about that. And yet, when we looked around the country, there are almost no courses, at the undergraduate level, even giving these overviews of, digital media and children's well-being. And we are so lucky as to have one of the foremost international experts on digital mental health in childhood and adolescence. And sort of, by partnering with him, we designed a course that would be part of the curriculum that helps equip these behavioral health specialists to understand and to sort of work with students and their families to support, digital well-being, because this is not an aspect of children and adolescents' lives that is going to go away. It is pervasive, it is part of their life, and youth and families need to understand, what can it be, what are the opportunities with digital technology, and what are the things to be careful about? And how can we support, again, it's about supporting and promoting positive development and finding opportunities and running with them, and then sort of scaffolding and supporting when there are risks to be, managed.
So when I think about health promotion, I think of promoting well-being to offset risk, and every child has a certain amount of risk, and so we're promoting well-being, and we're also developing, like you said, these screening tools, these really state-of-the-art, evidence-based, empirically supported, based on our current expertise here at the U of O, which is really exciting, strategies for detecting risk and addressing risk. We will always need master's and doctoral level mental health providers in schools. So this is not intended to even eclipse that need, but everyone knows there is a shortage of workforce. And so this infuses a new workforce into a system where the work is already cut out for them. In the interest of time, let's talk about time. Let's talk about our timeline. I realize that some of you have varying levels of kind of background in the Ballmer Institute, and this was launched on March 1st. And so literally we are 7 months in. Tell us what we can look forward to over the next year or so, Randy.
Yeah, happy to do that. We feel Connie and Steve's urgency. And as faculty who've been working in this area for a long time, we have our own sense of urgency to add to that. So that's been exciting, to work with a team of individuals who are ready to move forward quickly, but in very thoughtful ways to address current needs, but to anticipate the future behavioral health needs of children and adolescents. So I think that keeps all of us motivated, because it's great to be around people like that. The particulars of that, Julie Wren was working yesterday afternoon, and we'll probably be working all weekend to try to get our undergraduate curriculum proposal into university governance processes this coming week. That's a major milestone for us. And these faculty work fast, but they did not take a single shortcut. So instead of taking a couple of years to create a curriculum, they did it in 3 months by meeting many hours every week, which is just unprecedented here at the U of O. So the curriculum is so well thought out that we think it has a very good chance of proceeding quickly through university governance. All new undergraduate programs have to be approved by the Higher Education Coordinating Commission in Oregon, and we hope we can get that done late this year, perhaps at the latest in January of 23, which means we will need your help probably in January to recruit students, the first cohort of 200 undergraduates. So we'll be calling on you then. And then in fall of 23, those first 200 students will matriculate. Most of those will be first-year students here at the U of O, but a handful, 25, 30, maybe 50, will be rising juniors that will start their sort of clinical training years, their practice training years on the new UO Portland campus. And so it's one of the reasons we're working hard to recruit faculty, because we need faculty supervisors for these students. But Park Rose, David Douglas, and Portland Public Schools are all in, which is so cooperative and collaborative with everything we've asked of them. And so we'll have those first-year students doing their general education for the first 2 years here, and then we'll start creating opportunities for them in fall of 23, but eventually expanding to having 200 students, a total of 800 students for each of the 4 years of a typical undergraduate curriculum, which should be a major boost to the local workforce.
That's great. I'm feeling a little bit overwhelmed / exhausted thinking about that, but it's an incredible opportunity to infuse the state, starting in Portland, moving throughout the state in subsequent years with a new workforce, and hopefully serving as a national model for our work. Okay, it's 10:19. I promised the people in charge that we would be done at 10:15. We're not quite there yet. I want to end with us thinking about how inspired we are with this. I mean, I certainly am inspired by the power of philanthropy, thinking about this idea coming to fruition with very committed donors, Connie and Steve Ballmer. And also that has this ripple effect of us coming together as a university and with partnerships in the community, Portland Public Schools, but other school districts as well. It's interesting, lots of school districts are saying, hey, what about us? Everything's not just in Portland. And we see that inspiration kind of ripple through. I'm curious, Jen, what inspires you about the Ballmer Institute?
Well, you said we had to finish quickly, so I could talk for an hour about what's inspiring. That's not fair at all.
We have a sense of urgency.
I think that what you were alluding to there is part of what's so inspiring is how there's just this incredible sense of alignment and sense of the moment, and so this gift from Connie and Steve Ballmer was incredible. But you also have seen people from the community and people from the university and who are giving in all these additional ways. They are, to get this done in the amount of time, I technically was supposed to be on sabbatical last year. People were giving of themselves because they're so, I said this to Connie and Steve, I feel compelled to be involved with this in whatever way I can and what I have to contribute. And so I think it inspires that in people because it's such an incredible opportunity. And the other thing that's so inspiring to me about it is that you don't often get to be the first doing something like this. And I think, and I think we can already see that it might serve as a national model. So we're starting in Portland, we want to reach the whole state. But we think that we know people are watching, and if it works, and we continue to invest and we continue to give, and if that works, then others will follow suit. And then when you think about how much that could transform child and adolescent developmental outcomes and what that means for the future of basically our country, investing in youth, it's the total package. It's so inspiring.
Mindy, what inspires you about the Institute?
And following up on Jen's remark, our president has told us that it will work.
I'm confident.
Yeah, so we will make this work, and that's exciting. So when it does work, we'll see a change in the behavioral health adjustment of children in Oregon and then throughout the United States. A change toward a positive trajectory of development that I've not seen in my career. And in fact, we've seen the opposite. And so that's what I'm looking forward to.
That's great. Well, we have just a few minutes left. We were thinking about doing some Q&A. That might be challenging, but we're going to stick around. If you've got questions for us, we'd love to chat with you. As you can see, we're excited, we're passionate about this work. We've been living, breathing, sleeping the Ballmer Institute since its inception, and before that, this was our life's work. So we'd love to chat with you if you want to stick around. Everyone is invited to come to the president's tailgate, that president that said this will work, and make sure that you thank him for supporting this. And Patrick Phillips, our interim president, was really critical to supporting our efforts, and of course President Schill, and it all came together. So we're excited to talk with you. Thank you for being here. Go Ducks!